Forests are the most biologically rich terrestrial systems.
Biodiversity has become almost a buzzword, and when that happens, meaning often gets lost. So let's find out what is really hidden under the umbrella of forest biodiversity with Stefanie Linser from the University of Natural Resources and Life Science from Vienna.
Forest biodiversity in particular refers to all life forms found within forested areas and the ecological roles they perform. As such, forest biodiversity encompasses not just trees, but the multitude of plants, animals, and microorganisms that inhabit forest and other wooded land and their associated genetic diversity.
Then, how diverse are European forests today?
The European forests are predominantly semi-natural, and that there are only very few plantations. And forests undisturbed by man comprise 2.2%. The species diversity of forest stands has been increasing in the last 30 years. The area of forest designated for biodiversity conservation has increased by 65% in the past 20 years. These are about 1/4 of the forest area are protected for the conservation of biodiversity.
Unfortunately, when we talk about forest biodiversity, it is often related to bad news. What is the reason for the decline in biodiversity?
The most important factors associated with the decline of forest biodiversity are of human origin. The conversion of forest to agricultural land and urban areas, overgrazing, game damages, introduction of invasive alien plant and animal species, infrastructure development like road building and urban sprawl, mining, human-induced forest fires, pollution.
And yet there comes a new challenge, climate change.
As the forests are degraded, so too is the biological diversity harmed. And this degradation lowers also the resilience of forest ecosystems and makes it even more difficult to cope with the changing environmental conditions. And in this regard, also the climate change is a major threat.
I've heard that sustainable forest management could be useful to protect the biodiversity of our forests. But how does that work?
Sustainable forest management comprises activities like maintaining, conserving, restoring, and enhancing forest biodiversity. For example, designating an appropriate share of protected forest areas by applying guidelines on closer to nature forestry and biodiversity-friendly practices, by special care for rare and threatened species, leaving deadwood in the forest for cave-breeding birds and for deadwood-dependent insects. Also, combating illegal harvesting is an issue in some countries, and applying careful harvesting techniques, a preference for mixed forests instead of monocultures, and then also the conversion of single species, even age stands, into more biodiverse forests.
Do you want to know more about the state and importance of European forests? Forest Europe has gathered the voice of a wide network of experts on the issue. Follow this series on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.